A very good morning, students. You are most welcome to this channel. This is my channel is for the teaching of the human anatomy for medical, dental and for physiotherapy students. Okay. Most of you must have taken the admission in the medical schools, okay, colleges, in the dental colleges or physiotherapy college, and you must be thinking about the starting of the teaching in the medical schools, where you will be learning about the anatomy, physiology and biochemistry in the first year of your teaching, okay, of these various courses. Okay, and most of you must be thinking about how anatomy is taught. Okay, what is the first book to be studied in the anatomy? So this short video is about the anatomy teaching and which is the first book you will learn and why you should learn the first book which is called as the general anatomy. Okay, this book which you are going to learn in the course of the human anatomy is called as the general anatomy. This is a small book of about 100 or 125 pages, and this has to be studied first before actually you start the learning of the anatomy proper. Okay, the whole course of the general of the anatomy is for about of 1 year, but this general anatomy course will finish within the first 8 to 10 days of your studies. Okay, as soon as you are admitted, you will be taught the general anatomy. Okay, then the question in your mind must be coming, what is taught in this general anatomy? Now this book which you are seeing in this slide, where it is written as general anatomy, it is written by me and it is in the 4th edition published by the PP, and this is the simplest book on the general anatomy which deals only what exactly you want to know in the general anatomy. So in general anatomy you will learn that it is an introductory subject. So the first book which you are going to learn in the anatomy department is that of the general anatomy, and this book deals with the introduction to the subject of the human anatomy, and learning of this book will help you to understand the human anatomy later, okay, very well. Otherwise it will be real difficult for you to understand the anatomy which you are going to learn. That means this general anatomy is will provide you the basic concept of human anatomy. It is just the beginning and the introduction, how anatomy is to be studied, what are the structures in anatomy are to be studied, how they are studied, that is dealt in this general anatomy book. Now, the study of general anatomy, this is a small book which you will learn in your first week or say in the first 10 days, okay, and there will be about 8 to 10 lectures will be taken on the general anatomy as soon as you are admitted into the medical school. Then the chapters which will be covered in the general anatomy are the first chapter which will be covered, or the first lecture which will be taken will be based on the introduction of anatomy. They will tell you in the general anatomy what is the definition of anatomy, how it is to be studied. Okay, then in the second aspect of the general anatomy there will be the chapters which will deal with the vocabulary or terminology of the anatomy, because the subject of medical science or anatomy deals with its own language for communication with the medical peoples throughout the world. Okay, this is not a general language, this is the medical terminology which is used. So first thing which will be taught to you will be the what is anatomical position, which is the position of the human body, which you will soon learn what it is. Okay, Then they will teach you the human body is divided into various planes. Okay, say for example, it is the transverse plane, that means it is horizontal or transverse plane, which you must have already learned in your zoology classes. Then there will be the sagittal plane, coronal plane, like that. There will be various planes and their importance will be taught to you. Okay, and then in the same group of the lectures, you will also be taught about the position of structure. There are many structure in our human body. For example, blood vessels, nerve, artery, vein, muscles, and they are interrelated to each other, and their relationship will be taught to you. That means those terms which are used for showing their interrelationship will be, for example, if there is you are learning about an artery, what lies in front of an artery, what lies behind, what lies on its sides, that all those terms which are used will be taught to you. Then they will teach you about the movements of the body. For example, in a joint, various kind of movements are taking place, and what are the names given to these movements. They will be told to you under the heading of the terms related to the various movements of the body. For example, flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, which you have not learned in your school days. Okay, so in the another category of lectures in general anatomy, you will be taught what are the structures which are made during the dissection. For example, when you will start dissecting a dead body or cadaver in dissection hall, you will give your incision first or cut the skin of the dead body first. So there will be a lecture which will deal about the skin, what are the types of the skin in our body, what is its microscopic structure, what are the functions of the skin in general. Okay, everything will be taught to you in general. And after the skin, as it is shown in this diagram, what you will see after this deep to the skin will be that means there will be deep to skin, you will get the presence of the area or the tissue which is deep to the skin is called as the superficial fascia, as it is shown in this diagram. Just beneath the skin there is superficial fascia, and this superficial fascia mostly consists of the fat and the areolar tissue or connective tissue, loose connective tissue. Then you will talk about the deep fascia, which is a fibrous membrane here. Okay, blue color fibrous membrane which is seen here is that fascia is here, and this fascia and all the general aspect of this fascia you will be taught. See this pointer, red color pointer, which I am moving on to that of the blue color line which is covering present deep to the superficial fascia. Then all the general aspect of the deep fascia you will be taught. What are the modification of deep fascia, how it is made, how it extends in our body, where it is present, where it is absent in our body. Then you are seeing in the pointer the bone, and then you will be taught about general aspect of the bones and joints, what are the bones, how they develop, how many types of bones are there, what is their classifications, and then you will talk about the classification of joint, okay, movable, immovable. So all those details about the general aspect of the bones and joint will be taught to you next after the deep fascia. Then you will see that since muscles are attached to the bone, you will be taught about the various types of muscles in our body. Say for example, skeletal muscles, smooth, and the cardiac muscles. Okay, all general aspect. Then you will be taught about the blood vessels, that means artery, veins, their classification, their general aspect, and then the lymphatics which carries the lymph to the lymph node. Okay. Then you will be also taught very superficially about the cavities in body. For example, there is a cavity for the lung in which lung is present, the pleural cavity, then the pericardial cavity in which the heart is present. Okay, so the visceras, you will be told about visceras which are present in the various cavity, very general, very superficially, and in abdomen there is a peritoneal cavity like that. So the body cavities will be taught, okay? And then in the last lecture you will be taught about the nervous system, means what is the classification of central nervous system, brain and spinal cord, and how the nerves they come out from the brain which are called as cranial nerves, and then nerves which comes out from the spinal cord which are called as spinal nerve, how they are formed, okay, what are their names in general. So all the general introduction of the body, whole of the body will be taught to you in 8 to 10 lectures at the beginning when you are your classes will start. Soon you will learn, but these lectures are very, very important, and I will suggest you and advise you as a senior teacher of anatomy that you should not miss even a single lecture of the general anatomy, okay? And because this lecture will form your foundation or base for understanding and learning of the whole of the human anatomy later on, which will take around a year to learn. Okay, if you will not attend this lecture properly or seriously, then there will be problem in understanding the lectures which will follow in the human anatomy later on. I will suggest you how to study the general anatomy. Okay, for this it is better that in the first week of your admission, after your classes are started in the human anatomy department, then form small groups of your friends, 4, 5, 6 in one group, and then you learn these lectures which were already taken into the lecture hall, come to the demonstrations or into the dissection hall, form a small group, learn it again from your books, and then you just in a small group demonstrate all this, what is learned, you have learned about it. Okay, you demonstrate, okay, among your friends and discuss what are the parts of the body, what is an anatomical position, how to stand in a practically you do it, okay, and discuss about it, okay, what are the various planes, what is the characteristic of each plane, okay, then you learn about the various terms of position, medial, lateral, anterior, posterior, infralateral, posteromedial, like that. Okay, you just discuss and learn among yourself, okay, and just demonstrate on the body of your fellow friend itself, okay, and similarly learn the movements, various kind of movements, flexion, extension, abduction, just by doing it on your body itself, demonstrating it on the body of the friend, and discuss about all these newly learned planes, various movement in your group, and understand it. Read these chapters again and again and learn them by heart. Unless and until you will not learn your general anatomy, okay, very well, it is going to, I mean to say, pose a problem for you later in the learning of the anatomy. So though lectures are introductory, they form the base and foundation of your studies, okay, of human anatomy. I thank you very much for watching this video. Okay, I have a large number of videos and you can refer to that. Okay, if there is any problem, you can always, okay, communicate with me.